Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, wherever you happen to be, and welcome to another episode of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. We set this scene in the, morning, with Maebh having gotten some ideas in her head. In the wake of learning of Talia's death, she spent a good amount of time in Lupus, spent the whole night in Lupus, in fact, because, wolves don't cry. So it gave her a chance to get herself centered, not get distracted by things like racking sobs and other disgraceful nonsense. And she has, if anything, become a little more determined to protect her people. And as such has has gone over the things that she can and can't make, gone over the things that she understands can be made, though she may not yet know how to do so. And in the end, went about collecting various bric-a-brac, probably ended up in the Bonar section of the Sept, if only because she was there yesterday already, paying some tuminage to Rat. So she went and picked up some of this and that to make an inexpert batch of paste, and then crawled halfway in her bedroom window to snatch out a pack of WOD that she had long since purchased but never really done anything with. And after snatching up her ritual clothing and popping back outside and probably into the Umbra to change, because, we don't need people creeping. She'll finally come out to seek Mistwhisper in wherever she's usually nestled or denning or resting or just creeping on the cubs like she do.
Yeah, she sleeps in the den, or stays in the den not far from the cub cabins, watching over her charges. And she will nod to acknowledge Maebh when Maebh approaches. And just stay sitting, kind of watching her.
And Maebh will carefully kneel, try not to stain up the dress too badly. It'll be a process of pulling up the skirt, kneeling, and offering her throat to be appropriate.
Another incline of the head.
And about that point, she'll go ahead and get herself back up, dust any detritus off of her skirt, and kind of take a moment to screw up her courage, as it were, before, a bit of a nod and good morning, dear mother.
Maebh. What can I
was hoping to make something, to make a new talon. I learned about this one, and she'll probably have like a Tupperware container because it's a Bonar thing. It seems almost suited to put it in there. And she'll hold up the small container, and she's like, Katori taught me how to make war paint. But she'll also, with her other hand, hold up probably a much nicer jar, though it's still a little opaque so that one can see the blue paint inside. But, I've read about traditional war paints, traditional WODs, and I thought I would ask first if you would mind doing the summoning, as I cannot, and second, if you knew anything about...
You don't have any Fianna law. You know jack about green dye.
She doesn't know about green dye. She knows about, human WOD. It's a traditional history thing. Yeah. She's looked into her history. So she doesn't know that green dye is a thing, but she knows about WOD and thinks it would be neater to use WOD because it seems more true to what she's learned and what she's studied than to use this awesome garbage paste.
Actually, you don't have academics. You don't know about WOD.
I don't know about WOD at all. Even looking through, magazines and stuff.
No academics.
I only ask because if you look at any, goofy-ass magazine that appeals to people who, I want Celtic-looking stuff, they'll usually have, little packs of WOD and a little blurb.
That's fair. You won't know about any details about WOD and its history.
Oh, that's fine.
Role. You'll know... You might have watched the film King Arthur.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't have, a deep understanding, just knows that it's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that she won't know that Celts and Romans are really a thing.
Not really. So she'll probably, if anything, offer them down for her to inspect and just kind of look a little lost on the subject.
And Mistwhisper will look at the blue dye briefly, and say, all the tribes have war paint of some variety, ancient secrets, even the glasswalkers, though that's not what they call it. Mother Larissa taught the secrets of body graffiti to the Theages of the Sept. If you wish, I can teach you of the Fianna one. Chase has spoken to me of. It's not within my right to adorn anyone with it. To use body paint outside of your tribe to use war paint outside of your tribe is highly improper.
So, not understanding. Does that mean that I would not be able to use it until I have gone through my rite?
I believe the Fianna would allow you to use the frost paint. Before that, then she'll look at Maebh. But if you are not successful, it will be something that you leave in the past.
She'll kind of purse her lips for a second and nod.
You may all use the body graffiti, as we are part of Bowden or Sept. And thus, permission is given.
That makes sense.
Yes. So, as I've been told, traditionally known as green dye, the Fianna, traditionally known as frost paint, Fianna war paint is known as green dye, rather misleadingly. Apparently it is nothing to do with the colour, but a reference to the daughter of the sun, Diagrienne. Fill the hearts of enemies of any who choose to attack the bearer with a deep chill, reflecting the blue colour of the WOD. You bind a frost spirit into it, a wind spirit into it. If I summon one for you and show you the pattern of the painting, do you have chimnage prepared? Also, do you know what you could give as chimnage?
And do I need to roll, or can I go with common sense answers?
You can go with common sense answers. Yeah.
So she'll probably mull it over for a moment. Well, it makes sense that the wind would probably like music, like wind instruments, like songs. She'll mull it over for another few seconds. I could offer a song, maybe ask Adam to compose something.
The wind cares mostly for its own ego, for its own conceits. I imagine praise to the wind will be quite sufficient.
She'll not. So offer it ample praise as I make my deal, and offer a song to glorify it.
Quite. So, yes.
She'll nod a bit and set the Tupperware aside in a place where she can easily find it to pick it back up when she leaves, leaving herself holding the jar.
Do you have a magpie swag? You don't have a magpie swag to put the jar in.
I don't. I can dedicate it.
Yes, you can do. If you have the capacity to do so right now. Basically, if you have spare slots.
I do.
Okay.
Let me scroll up and see what my roll is, because I can never remember.
It's Wits Rituals.
Wits Rituals?
And spend a point of Gnosis.
Can do. Oh, and actually, before I forget, let me roll this as well to see, even though it's unseasonably warm. Okay, good. I figured this would be the time that I botched if I did. So yeah, she's doing fine. And then Wits Rituals. Handily done.
Okay.
So now I have a dedicated jar of paint. Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
badass. Need a magpie swag so bad.
They're really useful things.
Need to grow up. Need to make cool things.
Okay. And then Mistwhisper will find the nearest reflective surface.
If she starts looking around, Maebh will pull out her little compact and offer to hold it down where she can readily look into it.
She'll have like a system, and she'd definitely prefer to use a non-artificial method, so she'll go over to sort of a nearby pool or the like and step sideways.
Especially if she looks like she prefers one over the other, Maebh will probably mimic her and go for the pool instead of using the mirror.
Yep. She's loopish, doesn't like this artificial nonsense. And yes, she will say, if you wish to assist, I'll perform the rite of summoning.
If I may spend a willpower just to make sure I don't take away dice.
No, I think an opportunity for failure here is quite enlightening.
Oh, God. All right, and it's roll Gnosis to assist, I assume?
It's roll current Gnosis, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I thankfully didn't botch, but I certainly didn't help.
Just let me check. Is Gaffling 3 or 4? I can never remember.
I'm going to cross my fingers for 3 really hard, so it doesn't come in.
No, it's 4, so that's 3 successes. And Mistwhisper will, upon it appearing, will draw ambient Gnosis. Which will appear as almost leaves brushed up by the wind and absorbed into the spirit of the swirling form. of the mist spirit, clouds and dust that seem to form a face.
All right. And Maebh will curtsy deeply.
First, I mean, Mistress So-and-so, what she will say is, O noble spirit of wind and sky, this youngling has a request and chimnage to offer you.
And so yeah, when it looks to her, she will curtsy deeply, as that's the best offering she can make, at least initially, the best good impression she can make initially in Hamid.
Yep.
And look up to the spirit with every, well, I mean, and it's not really even feigned. She really does. She is in awe of the spirit, so she'll look up with some sense of awe and appeal to it. Great spirit, I am in desperate need of your aid to keep my kin and my family safe.
And from what are you keeping them safe? From what do you require to protect them, little one?
I was hoping to have you bless a paint that I could adorn them with that would protect them from their enemies in combat.
You would bind me and my kin onto the flesh of your allies.
I know it is a great thing to ask of a thing that is so wild and free, that can affect such change. But it would be a great service. And I am willing to offer you songs to praise you in exchange for such a favor.
The wind lifts up and swirls. When will these songs be offered? When will the skies hear of the glory of the wind?
I will appeal to the young Galliard who would benefit from your gift and ask him to sing it, if he may, at the upcoming moot.
Then yes, I will. We will inhabit the paint that you so offer. If the song is good, then we'll keep the deal. Such as it is. And does Maebh want to roll for Rite of Binding?
I do. I did not even look over to see what it was. Right? Binding. Where is it? There it is. Wits Rituals.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume you still want the chance of failure to be as good as possible.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, it's not a botch, but it's not success.
Wow. The ones are killing you.
They really are. They're murdering me in the face.
And Mistwhisper will sigh. Oh, Spirit, I apologize for the improperly performed rite in your presence. If I may,
Yeah, Maebh looks appropriately distressed at failing. It's not something she's had happen as of yet. So she winces when it doesn't go off properly, and
yeah, she probably understands kind of halfway through the rite that it's not quite going according to plan. Yeah. So yeah. And then what's a willpower? 7. Yep. And the spirit is bound into the paint.
And once it is finished, Maebh probably cast an appealing glance at her, like, "Oh God, what did I do?" As she realized things were going wrong, and afterwards, it's pretty clear that she's bracing herself as if she's expecting some sort of a tongue lashing or correction for messing that up.
You still have to learn. Remember, if you pass your rite of passage, you will soon be a Cleath, a Theurge of a pack. I will not be there to help you next time. Next time, if you fail, it's quite possible that others will suffer, or you could even bring down the wrath of the spirit. The chimnage, and do not forget, the chimnage you must still be offered. But even in the best case scenario, more must be given.
She'll nod quickly. Yes, I have never had that happen. I wasn't sure what to expect when I realized it was going wrong. Thank you.
Now is the time to fail. You do not have much time left to fail. You know what happened when Talia failed.
Oh God, I'm gonna roll willpower to keep a straight face, or anything even remotely like it, and do all right. So there's that half second, like almost as if she'd been slapped, like shocked expression, but she'll compose herself instead of falling apart.
Yeah. When Nicholas failed and Talia failed, look what happened. They are runes. You're a Theurge. This is your field. Do not fail in this aspect again.
She'll nod a little bit more stiffly, but
You have now
with
witnessed the
clear
consequences of
understanding.
failure.
Yes, stepmother.
But now, Neil and Mistwhisper will, moment, shift to Hamed.
She will do as she's told.
And Mistwhisper will dip her finger in the jar and start adorning Maebh with the patterns that Chasers has told her. With the markings of the LWOD. Check your mirror when this is done. And do not forget these patterns. The Fianna care greatly for their traditions. To do it improperly may rouse their anger.
Yes, stepmother.
And be careful about who else you adorn this on. It's a symbol of brotherhood within, akin to an oath of brotherhood from the tribe.
Is it fitting to share it with my packmates then, when we have come to that point?
If you would defend your decision to do so against Chases the Storm.
I would.
You consider, and you would be eager to die in their places.
If they are packed to me, they are family and must be defended. Yes, of course.
Because you must remember, it is not and she's talking while she's adorning you with the pattern. It is not an oath of brotherhood from merely just you, but from the Fianna tribe.
Then I will not do it lightly.
Yes. Those who have earned the respect of Chasers the Storm from Travis and from other Fianna you have met, not merely your family.
She again kind of purses her lips. She's thinking on it.
There are those in the Sept who hold such position. Whether they would accept these things is up for debate.
Then I will ensure that my pack mates are accepted by the other Fianna of the Sept.
This is good. And she will continue adorning Maebh. At one point, she'll indicate for Maebh to remove the dress so they may be adorned on her body, as when, obviously, they go all over your body, not just on your face.
And there may be a half-second pause of surprise, but, I mean, it's Mistwhisper. She's a lupus. She's also a female. There's really no cause to worry about it, so she'll go ahead and slip out of the dress and I imagine stand with her arms out to be easier to doll over.
It's all on pretty much on the upper side of the body and going down the arms and the face. It's rather intricate patterns. There.
Yep.
The wind will freeze the hearts of those who oppose you.
She'll nod along, and at least on the parts that are down below the neckline, she can look down at them properly. Once she's finished with a particular area, she'll start examining the pattern, examining the lines, examining the curves, all in all trying to commit it to memory.
I don't have a picture, but it'll look badass and swirly.
Badass and swirly, like you do.
Yeah.
And here's another important question. How many uses do you get out of a jar?
Basically, each one is one thing. Because it's the issue is the spirit more than anything else. Although you'll get there'll be a fair amount of gone out of the jar. But yeah,
I was just thinking it'd be really ironic if I went through a lot of trouble to get this and then used it all up just learning the pattern.
Well, this one, yes, but you can use it in future. Like you can do the thing where you just make lots of talens.
Mm-hmm.
To make to make more.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is yes, your only issue, because it's specifically, like I say, more than the quantity of woad, the spirit is what matters.
This is true.
Yeah. And after finish adorning, Mistwhisper will step back and resume lupus form.
And she will obediently go for her mirror once Mistwhisper is clearly done, and make a point of turning her head this way and that, tilting up her chin, making sure she's noticing where all of it is.
Yeah.
And we'll comment, I assume it would be in bad taste to keep a diagram.
You can do, but you may not have time to refer to it when doing it again.
This is true.
What I would
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
recommend, if you can, go to your friends and practice on them. Not using the talon, simply with a pen or the like.
She'll nod.
Until it is second nature. But speaking of your friends, I spoke of I spoke of Nicholas and Talia. How do you feel? What are your thoughts?
I try not to be ill at the loss of Talia. We essentially grew up here together. It's tragic. She didn't have time to do much. She didn't have time to live up to all she could have done. But she kind of purses her lips and thinks about it before saying, but kind of knits her brows and looks in the direction of the umbral reflection of the boys' cabin. I am not sure how blame is laid. I remember Ben Renshaw. I remember what happened and that he thralled to earn his punishment. It seems much worse than a frenzy, but it's not something we've ever talked about in detail except to say that it was a terrible thing.
When you enter thrall of the worm, your anger overpowers you, it rapes your mind, and the worm enters your very soul.
That makes her wince, visibly.
You are, for a brief moment, as corrupt as any spiral.
Is it something that can ever be cleansed? Is it a permanent blight on your spirit?
It is not a blight on your spirit, but on your mind. Those who enter it fall to Harano. Many take their own lives out of shame. To become that which we fight, even for the briefest moment, damages the mind of many Garou, beyond repair. As for the violations one commits in thrall, you know that the gift we got from Mother, our gift from Mother Luna, makes us fall to raid, makes us fall to frenzy. And this is something that occurs, and we as a nation live with it. It is the curse of our anger, of our rage, and we understand this. But the violations of Thrall of the Worm are beyond the pale, for the most part. Whilst I am no Philodox, devouring the flesh of another is often held by all to be against the litany.
She nods.
Serious violation. I was not here, as I know you were not, when the young Wendigo committed his crime, but I understand that he killed and ripped out the heart of someone he was quarrelling with.
Yes.
That is not what Nicholas did. He did not kill anyone. I understand that it was Chino who actually laid Talia low.
It was.
The alternative may well have been Talia killing Katori.
Oh, I understand. He is especially devoted to Katori. And from what I understand, Katori was very close to death when he intervened.
He is. We're not philodoxes, and these things will be examined by them in the cold light of reason, going over what happened. I merely ask as the Den Mother. I don't believe you have had someone you were close to in this way be killed in the war yet.
I had not. I was becoming close to Callie when she died. But at least when she died, it was on her own terms.
It was not in corrupt madness, this is true.
I am trying not to be so weighed by the loss that I cannot do my duty this time.
There is a reason the gathering for the departed exists, and the Fianna celebrate it like no other. There is no shame in mourning, and the Fianna mourn with greater intensity than all others. But do not let it become a sickness. But there is no shame in sorrow. I'm sure the Den Father would tell you otherwise. Showing such emotion is not the Fenrir way.
No, he was there when I found out. And he came outside after me and only told me to be at training this morning.
Yes. And Philodoxes are reserved with their emotions at the best of times. Fenrir Philodox will show little.
Then
But yes.
I think that once I have had time to draw this, to make sure that I don't forget, I think I'm going to go have a good drink and a good cry and then go to my duties at the shrines.
There'll be a gathering for the departed in time.
Yes.
I'm sure then you will see from Chasers, the Storm, and Travis how the Fianna mourn. It is not with quiet tears. Do you know of the wakes?
Not really, no. I have not had much chance to spend time with Chases, and Travis has his duties.
They believe, the Fianna believe, that the best way to mourn is to celebrate one's deeds and sing of those which have not been done, the ones that could have been done.
She'll smile a bit at that, just kind of the idea of dreaming up the outrageous things that Talia would have managed to do and being able to sing of them. It sounds like as respectful a way to honor the dead as can be offered.
It is. Glory for the past and mourn for the future. And you will learn, because this will not be the first. This is maybe the first death. But what will happen over the next few years in the war is that those close to you, many of them will die. It gets easier as more die. You must be prepared for that. For the deaths of Lucas, Cinna, of the kinfolk, of myself, of Olaf, Katori, Nicholas, of
No,
Addy,
I hear that you
Travis,
should always live
even-
like you intend to die.
even of Mother Larissa. Yes. I'm fairly certain that the elders of the Sept, above all, Travis and Mother Larissa, understand that like no other.
Then I will.
Remember that the last thing you do may well be remembered. It is true, the sad reality, that people will remember that Talia died in a thrall, mad, foaming at the mouth, and trying to eat, trying to devour those close to her.
Would this affect her spirit? I thought of it
Yes.
after Callie died, but does that mean that she would not become an ancestor, that she would not go to the homelands?
It is unlikely.
Is there anything that as Theurges we can do to recover her spirit?
Not that I know of. She has not become an ancestor spirit. One must talk to the Striders, for they're the ones who know of what happens to the rest of us. I believe Katori and Olaf have witnessed it as well.
And she'll, again, purse her lips, think about her options, and nod. Then I will talk to them, and I will talk to the Striders. It seems cruel that a chance like that, I would hope that thrall is a rare thing, and that rare chance would mean her dying and not being able to go where she's meant to.
She's gone where she is meant to. It is not the homeland. It just won't. It will unlikely be the homeland. Thrall is rare, but happens, particularly amongst Aroons. And as for being cruel, Gaia is neither cruel nor kind, she simply is.
And that's a bit of a slap of reality, which will get her nodding and thinking again. Are there things that I can do as a Theurge, things that I'll be able to do that can make the chance of a thrall less likely, things that can make it harder? I know that there's the flute that can prevent frenzy. Is there...
I believe of nothing that the Fianna know of. There are spirits that charm the Aroons, and there's secrets of the children of Gaia and the Black Furies to aid rage. But ultimately, Mother Luna's blessing is our curse, and it is what we live with. Thrall of the Worm sadly happens, and we must just accept this. It is how we were made.
I understand. It's just anything that betters our chances leaves more warriors in the fight.
Remember, all of those things, though, weaken us as well. Rage is our weapon.
And I suppose even if there's a chance that your blade can turn on you, there's no sense in dulling it just in case.
Many would argue that. Others would disagree. What matters is how we deal with the curse of Luna after it affects us.
I suppose
Maybe
then.
one day you will frenzy and turn on those near to you. Maybe you will witness someone in the throes of Thrall of the Worm commit horrific acts. What matters is how you react to them.
I have turned on Lucas once before. I don't mean to do so again.
Yes. You have... Your connection to Gaia is strong. Your rage... You have little rage for a Garou. You have some will. Some strength of will. Your ability to control your rage will be greater than many. But in Thrall, such things will be meaningless. I believe only Katori amongst all the Thages, the Sept, has ever succumbed to Thrall of the Worm. No. Mostly it is a curse that affects the runes.
Then I will prepare myself and I will keep a closer eye on Chino in battle.
Why?
Because he is my family.
Why does it?
And
But if you keep your eye on him, what will it change anything? Or will it simply just be a distraction for you?
I keep an eye on Chino and an eye on Lucas already. It just means being prepared, knowing
If
how to
something
react when something happens.
And if Chino falls to Thrall of the Worm whilst you are in combat, what would you do? What could you do?
I am perhaps not that strong, but if I can take him off his feet, if I can knock him out, perhaps I should do as I planned and speak to Chimera about talens to great sleep. Anything to keep him from...
When one is in a frenzy,
eating.
things affecting the mind are meaningless. This paint I have shown you would have no effect on someone in a frenzy or thrall.
Well, that's obviously news to her. Her eyes widen a little bit. Well,
Madness is a great defense. What I would suggest is keep your eyes forward. Do not, when one frenzies, react accordingly, but do not spend your time looking over your shoulder in case of it. Because if you are glancing at Chino when his rage is full, but he is not frenzied, and you do not notice the Fomor behind you plunging its claws into your spine, what will happen?
I understand, and Mother.
The Aruns have their own curses to deal with. You can show a degree of sympathy, but it is their burden, not yours.
It seems like the more I learn, the bleaker it becomes.
It is a bleak world. The war is a bleak thing. But it is ours. Have you ever enjoyed an afternoon with the Cubs?
Of course.
Treasure each and every one of them. Because those are what we make. purifying an area of Gaia such as the tree, each act of that is all the more beautiful in darkness that surrounds it.
So not a bit. About the tree.
Yes.
Do we have people there? I went with Kachina. We set many spirits to guard it, to watch it, to warn us if anything went awry, to defend it. But do we have any Garou at the tree, at the other cairn? Whatever it is.
There are huge amounts of spirits, and the Guardians take responsibility for it. And the Elders visit it to take care. It is defended.
Would it be inappropriate then, once all of us are clear, once we have formed our pack, to ask to spend even a portion of our time there to safeguard that area?
You can spend time where you wish, but this is the main cairn. And if one leaves this sept for a long period of time, one would lose the benefits of Great White Mouse and Chimera if they feel you're not part of their sept anymore.
She'll tilt her head a bit. How long is that?
How long?
What is an appropriate amount of time to be gone from the sept before the spirits consider you no longer a member of their brood, as it were?
When they feel that this is not your priority. If the tree became your priority over this place.
Ah. Well, that makes sense.
Dolphin and Brigier would, I'm sure, adopt people as their own, but this is your home. In addition, if one was going to take responsibility for defending a place, I would advise the warder, as the tree falls under his auspice as well.
And she'll nod a bit, digest all that, and all in all look a bit happier for having been in so many directions enlightened at this point.
Yeah.
And let me double check real fast so I don't say the wrong one. It is Friday. Oh, so today is Rat. So she probably already did it this morning. Well then. She will, for all that it's kind of silly, essentially curtsy to Mistwhisper and say, thank you, Raya. Is there anything else I should keep in mind before I go?
Much, but this is all I will explain today.
Thank you, Den Mother.
And with that, I think we shall end the scene.
Yep, sounds like a good time. Then I will say, thank you, ST, for STing. I'm not going to thank myself because I'm the only player here. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we will see you next time on another episode of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.